Today, welcome to our Knowledge for Greek Myths. Today, we're going to be talking about our 9th lesson, which is the myth about Oedipus and the riddle of the Sphinx. Before we get into our read aloud, let's go through our word work words for today. I will read the word, you repeat it after me. Spectator, amusing, retrieve, flattered, unraveling, proof, aimlessly, guidance. Again, if I needed to find evidence for something, what would be another word for evidence? Which word on here would be something if I received a compliment from somebody? What word would I use? Today, we're going to be hearing about a riddle. Now, a riddle is a tricky question or kind of a guessing game. So here's a quick little riddle. This one's an easier one. In Greek mythology, I am a goddess of the harvest and the mother of Persephone. When Hades spirited her away to the underworld, I grew very sad and crops stopped growing. Who am I? This would be the goddess Demeter. I have another riddle for you. Let's try to solve this. What is black and white and red all over? What is black and white and red all over? Well, see how it's a tricky game because this word red isn't the color red. This is red as in we're going to read something. So this would be a newspaper because it's black and white, black being the letters, white being the background, and it's red all over. See how it can be kind of tricky. So we're going to be hearing about a riddle, but this riddle kind of poses a big danger to people. Again, we're going to use details to describe the text and identify its central message, and then find the meaning and understanding of the word insisted. All right, let's listen today. Listen carefully to find out what the riddle is in this story and the central message of this story as well. Long ago, one of the great Greek cities was called Thebes. At one point in its long history, on a lowering rock overlooking the various roads into Thebes, there lived a horrible monster called the Sphinx. Have you ever heard of the word Sphinx before? Where'd you hear it? And what was it? This Sphinx was not like the great stone statue in Egypt that stares out endlessly over the desert near the Great Pyramid. The Theban Sphinx, according to Greek myth, was no statue. She was a living beast. She did have a lion's body, like the Egyptian statue, but the Theban Sphinx had a face and neck of a human woman. She had wings, so she would swoop down and attack anyone and could speak as humans do. It was she who posed or presented the riddle. Whenever a traveler tried to enter or leave Thebes, that person knew the Sphinx would be waiting on her high rock. The monster would say, "I'm going to eat you unless you can correctly answer this riddle. What is it that walks on 4 feet in the morning, on 2 feet at noon, and on 3 feet in the evening?" What do you think the answer to this riddle is? The poor traveler was often too frightened to even speak, and the cruel beast would strike with her sharp claws and teeth. Even if some clever person tried to answer the riddle, the Sphinx would always listen and then exclaim, "You have guessed wrong. Now I will eat you." No one knew why this terrifying creature had chosen to live on a rock above the road to Thebes, or why she insisted on posing this particular riddle. They knew only that she ate every person she met. Not only that, but no one from the outside would bring fresh food to the city for fear of encountering the monster. If someone does not solve this riddle, the people told one another, we will starve. As bad as this was not the only problem the Thebans faced. Their king, King Laius, never returned from a journey he had taken far from home. So the person the Thebans had usually turned to for help was not there in their hour of danger. In this dreadful situation, you can imagine how surprised the guards were when they looked out from the city walls one day and saw a man nearing the main gate. They did not recognize him, but they could see that he was tall and richly dressed. Do you think the Sphinx will pose a riddle to this person? The captain of the guards said, maybe he will make it. I do not see the Sphinx anywhere. Perhaps she is off watching another road. But just as the captain was about to order the gates to be thrown open, down came the Sphinx like an arrow shot from the clouds above. She settled on her rock and looked down at the stranger with cold, pitiless eyes. Traveler, said the monster, today you have chosen the wrong road. The stranger boldly replied, I choose my own roads and my own destinations. Today I will go to Thebes. Anger lit up the monster's eyes as she said, I alone decide who travels this road. If I say no one travels this path, so it shall be. You have one chance, and one chance only. You must answer my riddle. Tell me, foolish man, what is it that walks on 4 feet in the morning, on 2 feet at noon, and on 3 feet at the evening? The stranger sat down in the dust of the road to think. The Sphinx, sure Oedipus wouldn't guess it, gazed down at him, her tail twitching with impatience. After some time, she stopped even that movement. For a half an hour, the man sat thinking as the huge beast lay still atop its rock. Meanwhile, the people of Thebes had rushed to the wall. They knew the man would probably not guess the riddle, but it had been so long since anyone had even tried. They had come to see him. At last, the stranger rose to his feet. Have you an answer? Demanded the Sphinx. In a strong, sure voice, the man repeated the riddle. What is it that walks on 4 feet in the morning, on 2 feet at noon, and on 3 feet in the evening? Then, staring straight into the Sphinx's eyes, he said, the answer is a man. As a baby in the morning of his life, he crawls on all fours. At noon of his life, when he is grown up and strong, he walks upright on 2 feet. In his old age, the evening of his time on earth, he walks with the aid of a cane, as if on 3 feet. The Sphinx's eyes flew open in shock. The traveler had answered correctly. With a cry, the monster threw herself down from her high rock. The Sphinx was finally gone. With shouts of joy, the people of Thebes rushed down from their walls, threw open the gates, and poured out onto the road. They lifted the stranger onto their shoulders and carried him into the city. They asked, Who are you, great hero? To whom do we owe our lives? I am Oedipus, he answered. No, not just Oedipus, they said. You are now King Oedipus, master of the Sphinx and king of Thebes. So that is the story of how Oedipus answered a riddle and became a king. So what riddle did you hear about in today's Read Aloud? What character was the one posing this riddle? So are the Thebans grateful to Oedipus? How can you tell from what we read? Our word work word for today is the word insisted. I will say the word, you repeat it after me. Insisted. So what does the sound does ED make in this word? makes the ed sound. What are the other sounds ed can make? How many syllables is this word? What do you think the word insisted means? So insisted means to order or demand something. I know for my mom, she always insisted, go clean your room. She insisted, ordered it. My mother insisted I wash my hands before I eat lunch. Have you ever insisted on something? Again, in our Greek myth journal today, what was the answer to the riddle you heard? And how could you tell that the Thebans were grateful for Oedipus? Can we have one more read aloud of our Greek myths left? Let's stay tuned for that.